Jayhawks and Frank Martin of the Wildcats, this rivalry is a total thumbs up. The faces may change, but the passion does not. In a series that dates back more than 100 years, the players know it's the name on the front that counts. It's time to have a rockin' good time. KU and K-State now. What a perfect way to tip off the Big 12 season. Sold out Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas. We welcome you in for the Sunflower State Showdown. Kansas State taking on the Kansas Jayhawks. Hi again, everyone. I'm Dave Armstrong along with Reed Geddes. Reed, there are a lot of folks, despite KU winning 7 straight Big 12 titles, that think this might be the year to get the Jayhawks.
An uncharacteristic lack of depth has decreased the margin of error for the Jayhawks. They are vulnerable. The Wildcats know it. The Jayhawks know it. This should be an outstanding basketball game.
The star power will come out again, and in our one-on-one, two guys that are playing their best basketball right now.
In the last 2 games, Rodney McGruder has averaged 21 points per game and is shooting over 80% from the floor. Thomas Robinson, he is coming off of a Wilt Chamberlain-ish 30 points, 21 rebounds. We have got some star power in our one-on-one matchup.
They've been camping out for over a week for the Allen Fieldhouse filled up fast. So with the Jayhawks running out onto this court in defense of their 7 straight Big 12 titles, the Wildcats are ready. And we'll have the opening tip from Lawrence, Kansas in just a moment. Tonight's Big 12 Network game is brought to you by Phillips 66. Hard-working gas. By Whataburger, proud to serve it hot and fresh 24 hours a day. And by USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of the military, veterans, and their families. As we welcome you back inside Allen Fieldhouse, the Jayhawks know they've won 42 of the last 45 games in this series with their bitter rivals, the Wildcats of Kansas State. Let's check out K-State's lineup. Martavius Irving, Will Stradling, their point guard, and Rodney McGruder in that backcourt. Jamar Samuels, he's very key, according to Frank Martin, to the success or failure of K-State this year. And Thomas Gibson, a sensational freshman, round out the starting 5. Here's the starting 5 for the Kansas Jayhawks, and it's been this way pretty much since the start. Tyshawn Taylor, the senior guard, along with Elijah Johnson and Travis Relaford. Thomas Robinson averaging a double-double, and Jeff Withey, the big 7-footer up front. Bill Self, in his 9th year already, guiding the Jayhawks. And then look at what they've done in their last 5 years, including a national championship. They have averaged 33 wins. He has done a phenomenal job. Now, for Frank Martin, he knows coming into this place, a place that he has never won. The Wildcats' last win at Allen Fieldhouse was 2006 before he got to Kansas State. And he has a good formula for success for the Wildcats.
He told his kids what it was like to play in Allen Fieldhouse. And the key in being successful here on the road, he said in every game, the difference has been our turnovers and our bad shots in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game. If you do that in this building, he told his kids, you might as well put points on the board because the Jayhawks will capitalize. That is the key, the first 4 or 5 minutes of this game.
You would think that both of these teams, it will come down to turnovers and rebounding.
Both coaches did not hesitate. They said that is where this game will be decided. I am fascinated by the fact that Frank has taken that even a step further, and he said it is turnovers and rebounding in the first 4 or 5 minutes.
These two teams play in front of 2 of the rowdiest crowds in the country. Not only here at Allen Fieldhouse, as you can tell, the volume picking up, but also at the Octagon of Doom, Bramlage Coliseum in Manhattan. So let's let you capture some of the emotion, the feeling here at Allen Fieldhouse as we begin our game here tonight. And just like that, we've already got guys down on the court the way both coaches love it.
Coaches will tell their kids, somebody give me a hustle play. Bill Self says, give me a hustle play the first 30 seconds of this game, and it will set the tone for the entire evening.
So we're going to have a mulligan on the opening jump.
Well, they're treating this like a jump ball. I'm not sure why Jeff Withey's not jumping it. They decided nobody had control, therefore there is no way to determine alternating possession.
And the Jayhawks will have it. Quickly inside, there's Robinson, but he was bothered by Samuels.
What a great matchup we're going to have. Thomas Robinson and Jamar Samuels. Those two are going to go after each other all evening. A great matchup, and what a challenge for Jamar.
Irving can't find the paint. Now Samuels, he goes out. And the rebound comes down to Elijah Johnson. Here's Taylor. He got a quick step. 3 missed shots to begin the game. Opening jitters.
Well, let me tell you something. Kansas got a point-blank shot from Thomas Robinson. Got a point-blank shot from Tyshawn Taylor. For Frank Martin, he ends up with Jamar Samuels, the first shot, taking a 3-point attempt, and he's only made 3 all year long. That's not good shot selection on your first possession.
And a turnover by Relaford. Irving was able to step in and pick the pocket. He goes stumbling in with the called for the foul.
That's a good possession for Kansas State. You're on the road. Do not settle for jump shots early. Frank Morton wants all of his players attacking that basket.
At the line, shooting 2.
Samuels, a 71% free throw shooter.
What a leader this young man has turned into. Frank Martin telling us at practice that he is the only verbal Wildcat that he has. And Frank says, as a result of that, a lot of times in the past when I might take Jamar Samuels out because I'm frustrated with him, because of his leadership skills, I have got to have Jamar on the floor.
Withey clears the glass. Irving trying to guard Taylor, and he steals it away. The second steal for Irving. Look at Samuels crash that offensive glass. Is there a better offensive rebounding team in the Big 12 than the Wildcats year in, year out?
A lot of times that's their best offensive set, is get that ball up on the glass and go get it.
Samuels lost his track. Robinson pulls up.
Oh my. Oh my. Boy, 6'10" Thomas Robinson grabbing the rebound underneath the basket, leading the fast break, and then the poise and composure to pull up at the elbow.
Gibson's got it. Back to Irving. He resets. Running hook won't go. An 0 for 4 start for the Wildcats. Relaford, 3! A huge plus. Relaford only a 31% three-point shooter.
Terrific ball reversal by Elijah Johnson up top.
Shot clock to 9. Straddling. Well, he calmly hits one from the short corner.
I don't know why Jeff Withey's not contesting that shot. Put that 7-foot arm up in the air and make him shoot over you.
Withey, the leading shot blocker in the Big 12, averaging almost 3 block shots per game. Relaford needs help. Cross-court pass. They swing it to Taylor. Look how quickly that ball moves for KU. Relaford again. Dimitri created that.
Terrific up fake that time by Travis Relaford.
Relaford with 5 of the 7 points for KU. There's a block. Gibson couldn't get it to go.
It's a tough matchup. Thomas Gibson only goes 6'7". He's trying to shoot over 7-foot Jeff Withey.
Robinson. That's a shooter's touch. Kansas, after missing their first 2 shots, have hit their last 4.
A lot of standing for the Wildcats early in this game.
Going back to that Frank Martin quote, how are these first 4 minutes working out?
So far, not so good.
Woo. Shot clock at 4. Magruder.
Well, that shot went up and there was nothing but white shirts. 0 offensive rebounding effort by Kansas State that time.
The Wildcats just 1 of 8 so far. And they've been out rebounded 7-3, 7-4 now. Here comes Spradling. Whistle and out of bounds. And Thomas Robinson, the reigning Big 12 player of the week, he's off to a good start for KU. And the Jayhawks lead at 9-3. Back after this from your friends at Phillips 66. The students camped out starting New Year's Day waiting for this game. Right now the Jayhawks with a 9-3 lead. So from the young to, well, we're not going to call her old, but she's 104 years old. Congratulations and happy birthday to Olive Vorse, who is attending her very first ever Kansas basketball game.
Jeez, talk about a waiting list.
Man, now think about it. She's 104 years old. This series is 105 years old. It started in 1907. She was born in 1908.
What a great story.
Oh, my.
What a great story. Boy, I tell you what.
Now you see the Jayhawks with an overwhelming lead in this series. They've won 7 of the last 8 meetings. Of course, the last meeting was won by Kansas State. That's when Jacob Pullen went crazy at 38 points at Bramlage Coliseum, and Kansas State won that one 84-68.
Checking into the Kansas State lineup.
Well, I guess there's no question who she's rooting for.
John Higgins ran by her and she goes, "I was traveling."
With Reed Geddes, Dave Armstrong, glad to have you courtside at Allen Fieldhouse today. Substitutions now for the Jayhawks. Wesley has checked in. Also, Jordan Enriquez has come into the game for K-State. And Tyshawn Taylor with a circus shot.
Tyshawn Taylor's being aggressive. He has missed 2 shots, but both of them have been aggressive attacking the basket.
Also coming in for K-State, the talented freshman, Angel Rodriguez.
K-State needs better effort on the offensive glass. They've missed 7 shots, only have 2 offensive rebounds, but it's the rebounding effort that's got to concern Frank Martin, or the lack thereof. You do not get 100% of the rebounds you do not go for.
Big giant step on the baseline, but blocked in there by Relaford. What a pass! What a block!
Oh, a terrific recovery that time by Jordan Enriquez. I thought that was going to be an easy dunk. He went over, cut off Thomas Robinson, recovered, and still got a clean block. Outstanding defensive effort by this big 6'11" junior.
What do the Wildcats need to do, Reed, to get some of their offense going?
Well, they need a clean shot. They need to get a shot off of the ball. Somebody moving, coming off of a screen. They're trying to do everything off the dribble, and they are getting no good, clean looks.
There's a look, but it's way off target. Rodriguez can't hit the 3. Relaford drives in, and he's fouled. No shot, and the foul on Spradling. That'll be the second team foul on the Wildcats.
Frank's not pleased with what he is seeing early in this game. Bad shots, not good ball movement, and not very good defense on the other end.
Not a good formula.
It's a bad formula.
Nadir Tharp, the freshman guard. He's given Tyshawn Taylor a breather. Little backdoor, good recovery by Southwell. Tharp's open for three. It was right on target, but wrong. And now Relaford. That's right. Boy, he had an open shot if he'd have taken it. Robinson.
Boy, is he a tough matchup. I mean, we've seen him get the ball in transition, pull up for jump shots. We've seen him slice to the basket. Thomas Robinson grabs this ball, checks over, looks at the defense, squares up, and then just steps back away from Thomas Gibson. And tell you what, he is tough to stop. I think you have got to double team him. You see Thomas Robinson almost expecting the double team. He turned and squared up, did a reverse pivot, and just no help coming.
Yesterday in practice, we watched Kansas State work on a double team with Robinson when he put the ball on the court. That time, the double team never came. Yeah, coming up on Saturday, we all start with Studio 66. Will you be in studio this weekend?
I will not. I will be at College Station for Iowa State and Texas A&M.
Well, Doug Bell will be there in Studio 66, and then I'll be with John Sunvold at Kansas State as they take on the Missouri Tigers, Baylor and Texas Tech, and Iowa State, and Texas A&M, all part of the Big 12 Network this weekend. You know, Thomas Robinson getting his first breather, starts off with a half dozen points.
Very similar to the game last year in Lawrence. A lot of excitement. Started out, KU just dominated, jumped out to a 12-1 lead. Right now, 13-3, and Frank Martin is unusually quiet.
He's beside himself right now, along with his associate head coach Brad Underwood. Not happy out of the timeout to turn the ball over, the second turnover for the Wildcats. There's Taylor. He gets free, and no one came up to help.
Jordan Enriquez has got to tell his teammate that screen is coming. He just ran up there and allowed his teammate to get his clock cleaned.
Well, even the ones that look like they're going to go don't go for the Wildcats. Taylor whips it out. Tharp back to Taylor. Here comes the screen from Young. Back to Young. 12 straight by the Jayhawks. And that'll quiet this crowd momentarily.
Well, first time they filmed that ball in the paint, and a nice drop step over the right shoulder by Enriquez.
Little dipsy-do doesn't go for Taylor. The lob inside. And it goes to Tian finally. It'll be the third turnover for the Wildcats. Taylor losing the handle momentarily. We've got a tie-up. The ball will go to Kansas State when we come back. But the Jayhawks, they haven't sat on this lead. They've scored 12 of the last 14 in this game to lead by 12. Now the Jayhawks have out-rebounded the Wildcats 13-5 so far and have a 17-5 lead. Retake us inside the play.
Now when you play Kansas, you have got to help the helper on the ball screens. Let's watch this play develop, and we'll freeze it, and we'll look at the weak side. Now freeze it right now. In the middle of the lane is Southwell. He should stay low on Robinson. Enriquez should come across and help. As a result, nobody does. Southwell closes out to somebody who's on the weak side, doesn't have the ball, and they allow an easy 10-foot jump shot. Perfect execution for Kansas. I think Frank Martin's going to be disappointed in the lack of rotation.
Tough shot, guarded shot. Tian's got the long rebound. 2 for 14 for Kansas State to start the game. Meanwhile, KU 8 for 15. Tien left open for 3. Robinson fighting for that rebound. It'll go out of bounds off of Gibson. It'll stay with KU. When you look at Thomas Gibson, how about this, Reed? 6'7", 275. They say he's the strongest guy in the weight room.
An extremely high basketball IQ, a very, very smart kid. Brad Underwood telling us before the game that they are just blown away with how mature he is with his basketball knowledge.
Robinson with a step back. Oh, my. Points, 3 rebounds so far for Thomas Robinson. Samuels.
Ooh, that's an elbow.
There's a lot of contact finally called by Jerry Pollard.
Is there a tougher matchup in the country right now than Thomas Robinson? This is off the dribble, between the legs, step back at the top of the key. Are you kidding me? And that is 6'10", and that is difficult to stop. If you're Kansas State, Thomas Robinson's on a roll, he will beat you. You've got to make somebody else beat you. Run double teams every time he puts that ball on the floor.
And a 5-second call. And for Frank Martin, that nightmare of the first 4 minutes has continued now for 10. Taylor, look how easily he is able to penetrate into the paint.
Bill Self said about Tyshawn Taylor, said we cannot afford for him to not be aggressive. You know, he is not putting up big numbers right now, but Tyshawn Taylor is playing an outstanding first half. He is getting to the paint at will. He's missed some easy shots, but they've been aggressive, forcing the action type plays.
What was that one quote he said about Tyshawn Taylor? He said, there are some plays that you can't coach, and then there are other plays that he makes that you think he was never coached.
That's a great quote. Bill Self has learned to allow Tyshawn Taylor to be himself. You know, a lot of people around here want him to be Tyrell Reed. He is completely different. He will make mistakes that Tyrell Reed never made. On the other hand, he will make plays that Tyrell Reed never could imagine making.
I mean, he loves him and says he ranks him in the top 5 in the country as far as guards are concerned.
I'm not sure there's a, you know, you say 5. I'd be hard-pressed to come up with 5 that are more talented than Tyshawn Taylor.
Spradling.
Good defense.
Good help by Withy. Spradling for a 3. Where nothing's falling for the Wildcats. They're 2 of 14 from the field. And that's a travel by Relaford. The 5th turnover for KU.
Jeff Withy doing a nice job rotating over, cutting off a penetrating Will Spradling. Spradling settling for a 25-foot shot instead of a 6-foot shot.
Wildcats also 0 for 3, Reed, from 3-point range.
Well, they need a basket. I mean, they need a good possession, attack the basket, and get a good look at the rim.
They need to get Samuels going.
Magruder going.
And Magruder, who couldn't miss in his last couple of games, he can't hit anything so far in this one. He is 0 for 3.
This is just moving the ball too easy. Everything's comfortable down on the offensive end for them.
And Withy with a little hook off the glass. Withy with a block. Good save by Gibson. Irving gets himself free. That was a good move by Martavius Irving.
You want to make offenses uncomfortable. Deny passes, take some things away. Right now, Kansas just kind of throwing the ball around and doing whatever they want.
Johnson high off the glass. Robinson, he's fouled by Samuels. He'll go to the line when we return. the Jayhawks with all kinds of pride. 7 straight Big 12 titles. They've heard the rumors that this is the year to get them. Well, they've come out and made a statement so far. We're back after this from Phillips 66. So far in this Sunflower State Showdown, it's been all KU. They lead 23-7. Hey, golfers and club pros, online registration now open for the 2012 ESPN National Golf Challenge. Log on to ESPNGolf.com to sign up and find a participating course near you. With Reed Gaddis, I'm Dave Armstrong at a sold-out Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence. And so far, it's been a tough go for the Wildcats. Just 3 of 17 from the field. They're not getting points off turnovers. That is where the Wildcats usually excel. They average 18 points off turnovers a game. Tonight, only 1 so far.
Kansas is on pace to have 20 turnovers. Kansas State came into this game forcing 17 turnovers per game. And well, they've had some opportunities so far, only been able to convert 1 point off of those 5 turnovers. Robinson
coming off that game, Reed, where he was just unreal. Yeah, 30 points, 21 rebounds against North Dakota in that game. It was the first time that a Jayhawk has been over 30-20 since 1961 when Wayne Hightower did it. Of course, Wilt Chamberlain did it 6 times.
8 times in the history. That's the most points scored by a Jayhawk since 33 points against Iowa State by Marcus Morris. Most rebounds since Nick Collison had 21 rebounds against Syracuse in that national championship game.
Yeah. He's the 6th guy in Big 12 history to have 30-20. Michael Beasley was one of those 6. Now here's Magruder, 2 much-needed free throws. Well, we've seen this before, haven't we? We've played out this script before.
Yes, we have.
Kansas State at Kansas, where they really trail early on. And then they usually fight back, make a game of it. See if this is the beginning of the climb. Those 2 free throws by Magruder.
We've got a mismatch inside. I'd get that ball to Thomas Robinson in the paint.
And an illegal screen set by Withey. His first foul.
Now that was bad recognition by Kansas. Thomas Robinson's down there. He's got a smaller player on his back. You got to recognize that. And I know you've called a play and you got a bunch of sets, but you adjust, you look, if you tie Sean Taylor, you change the play and you get that ball inside to Thomas Robinson.
Correction, 2nd foul on Withey. The 4th team foul on KU this half. Each team with 14 fouls. Magruder. Turned it over. Well, that's 2 good moves to the basket by Henriquez.
If you're looking for a silver lining right now, if you're Kansas State Wildcat, it is the play of Jordan Henriquez. I would continue to get him the ball.
Robinson. Double teamed. Would have counted had it gone. He'll go to the line. Well, the Wildcats don't look now, but they're making a little bit of a run. 7 straight points by K-State.
Thomas Robinson has been so effective up there above the free throw line. He catches that ball and it makes that up fake so much more effective. You've got to respect his shot and stay on the ground, close out, keep your hands up high.
Robinson now 1 of 3 from the line tonight. He has 9 points to go along with 5 rebounds so far. He's been 21 points or more in 4 of the last 6 games. And misses the 2nd of 2 free throws. 1 of 4 from the line. He's been better from the line this year. The last couple of games, not so much. Magruder free for 3. It's one of the best looks that K-State has had from 3-point range, and Magruder can't get it to go. And he still can't find the range in this game.
Good hustle. Good hustle.
The alley-oop, Magruder, wow! Timeout, Kansas.
the exact kind of play that Frank Martin needed. He needed a hustle play and a potential momentum changer. Look at those black shirts diving and fighting for that ball. Good no call there. That was not a travel, and Will Spradling knew what to do, get that ball up high, and maybe that will get Rodney Magruder going as well. Just terrific hustle.
Even though the Wildcats trail in this game by 11, they have already forced 7 turnovers, and you look what they have done under Coach Martin as far as turnovers forced. And I mentioned that they average 18 points a game off of those turnovers.
Well, that is an extremely high percentage of points off turnovers as far as a percentage of your total offensive output.
And now it's up to 5 so far tonight. So 5 of their 13 points off turnovers.
Now full court pressure coming out of that timeout. Just trying to slow the Jayhawks down. Not really looking for a trap. They're now in a zone. 3-2 zone. Short corner, elbows open.
Elijah Johnson. Oh my. He's only hitting 30% from three-point range this year. And that gets the crowd back into it.
Oh boy, Enriquez got away with a wraparound. He hooked down there. Wesley was playing good defense. Jordan Enriquez took his right arm, wrapped it around the back of Justin Wesley. Watch down here, watch this right arm. Catches that ball and just reaches around and puts it in the middle of his back. Got away with one.
Certainly did. He did it away from the official who didn't see it. Is that offensive basket interference? It is.
But
no basket.
You know what? That's a hustling mistake. I mean, Enriquez has brought some energy to this Wildcat team. And,
he has.
You know, that's a dumb play. The ball was clearly on the rim, but right now, if you're the Wildcats, you'll take a hustling mistake.
Jayhawks running their weave.
The defensive intensity has picked up for Kansas State.
Foul on Enriquez, and that'll send Kevin Young to the line.
Number 21, Jordan Enriquez, his second.
Well, that's a tough possession for a basketball team trying to get back into the game. They play outstanding defense for about 33 seconds and then bail out with a foul down underneath the basket.
Now Young, not a good free throw shooter so far. 9 of 16 on the year. That's 56%. Doesn't look like a 56% free throw shooter.
Transfer from Loyola Marymount. Marymount was very good against Ohio State. Had a career high 14 points in just a little over 20 minutes of playing time.
I think the Jayhawk fans were hoping after that showing against the Buckeyes, Reed, that was the day that the light came on, but he hasn't been able to capitalize and come off of that performance and do the same in other games.
The light flickered.
Yeah, that's right. 16-point lead for KU, under 5 minutes to go first half.
Well, Kansas doing a nice job defending this handoff from the elbow.
Irving, three-pointer.
Nice poise by Martavius Irving. It gets so loud in here, you can't hear your teammates calling plays. Tapped his head, calling for a flash-out screen.
Well, that's just an unforced turnover by Wesley.
Well, there have been a lot of turnovers for the Jayhawks.
Returning to the Jayhawk lineup, Thomas Robinson.
That is their 8th turnover of this first half. Now Robinson, after that Wesley miscue, will check back in for Justin Wesley. Almost a turnover by Irving and Spradling. Magruder. Tough runner. Robinson, another rebound. That's his 7th. Harp. Unlucky on the shot. Not sure why he shot it so quickly.
Get that shot anytime in the possession.
And that'll be a blocking foul on Will Spradling. So Kansas State at least starting to show signs of life, but still trailing Kansas 29-16. Phillips 66, once again proud to be the presenting sponsor of Big 12 basketball. The next time you're on empty, fill up with Phillips 66 gasoline, specially formulated to clean fuel injectors, increase performance, and above all, help maximize mileage. Phillips 66, hard-working gas. With the hard-working Reed Geddes, I'm Dave Armstrong. You see Kansas leading it 29-17. They've really kept the Wildcats at arm's length. And here's where Kansas State is not their normal selves. The Wildcats, off of 18 missed shots, they're only shooting 25%. But normally for them, some of their best offense is just putting it up on the glass and going and getting it. They have only 3 offensive rebounds in this half and only 2 second chance points.
They are getting pounded on the boards. Both coaches told us that was the key to this game. Kansas State right now, 9 total rebounds. The Jayhawks, 21.
1-1 for Young. They'll get the bonus. The biggest lead for the Jayhawks this half, 18 points. Wildcats went on that 7-0 run to whittle it down. Looks like the lights flickering again for Young in this game. He's got 6 points. With Withy with 2 fouls, much needed offense. And a good move by Magruder.
Excellent execution that time by Kansas State.
They've got Nino Williams, the freshman, guarding Thomas Robinson.
Advantage?
Kansas, I would think.
Not if they don't get the ball to him. Get the ball over on the same side of the floor he's on.
Robinson in a fight with the aforementioned Williams. And we've got a tie-up. The arrow will give it to KU.
Back at the other end, a nice staggered on the ball screen. There's a slip on the ball screen, and then look at Rodney Magruder turn that corner. Not very good defense by Kevin Young. If you're going to switch or hedge, your responsibility is to keep your feet at an angle to where Rodney Magruder cannot turn that corner and attack the basket.
Inbounds play now for Kansas. They do this as well as anyone.
Starting off with the ball 3 feet from the rim, you should score. Elijah Johnson's coming off for a jump shot.
Halfway down and out. Williams with the rebound. Here comes Irving. Williams takes a wild 3-pointer. He's 1 of 5 this year from 3-point range.
This building will do that to you. You break down in responsibilities, you lose sight of your roles, and suddenly you're doing things you can't really do.
And that's a better shot for Williams.
Same set they scored on last time, this time on the right side of the floor. They're finding some sets that are working.
And a bad pass from Taylor. And the 9th turnover? The 9th turnover for KU. Irving. On go. Who's got the rebound? It comes to Robinson. That's his 9th. 9 points, 9 rebounds in this first half for Robinson. We're under 2 minutes to go.
Well, that was 10 seconds.
Blocked.
By everybody.
The extra pass. Oops. Johnson was going one way. Tyshawn Taylor threw it the other. And now 10 first half turnovers. The Jayhawks are letting the Wildcats stay in the neighborhood with all those turnovers. Coming up at halftime, talk about our Big 12 Player of the Week. Talk a little bit about conference realignment and first half highlights of this game. Studio 66 with us here on the road in Lawrence, Kansas.
Kansas State doing a nice job fighting and clawing their way back into this game.
On a night when they're just 8 of 28 from the field. Still hanging around in this one. Southwell gives it up. Magruder. A wild shot taken by Diaz. And another rebound for KU.
Kansas, you got to think Thomas Robinson needs to touch the ball this time down the court. Almost another unforced turnover.
Relaford got it. Bill Self's team a 24-12 advantage on the glass. Wants them to finish this half strong. Diaz. About a 4-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Johnson whistle for the foul. That's the 6th team foul on KU this half.
So Rodney Magruder is working hard trying to get shots. He is swinging from one side of the court to the other, coming off staggered screens, down screens, trying hard to get looks at the basket for Frank Martin.
Checking in for Kansas State, Nino Williams.
So the shot clock turned off. The Wildcats can go for the last shot of this half.
That's a good call by Tom O'Neill. Down low, Thomas Gibson was trying to set a baseline screen for a cutting Rodney Magruder and clearly moved on the screen. Well, I'll tell you what, when Thomas Gibson sets a screen, you know it.
So a little more ammunition for Frank Martin going into that locker room. Would you want to be in that locker room at halftime?
No, I would not.
I'm guessing the Wildcats are going to get an earful.
As opposed to
Taylor. No one came to help.
Terrible defense. Tyshawn Taylor has gotten to the paint every time he's tried. Nobody rotating over for Kansas State. Well, this is almost unforgivable.
And that's the way the first half comes to a close. Frank Martin just shaking his head as the Jayhawks run into their locker room, buoyed by the fact that they have a 15-point lead at halftime. Wow, what a beginning for KU in this contest. It started for the Wildcats, where they just could not stop Thomas Robinson, who wound up with 9 points and 10 rebounds in the first half, and KU leads by 15. Welcome back to Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence. Halftime between the Kansas Jayhawks and the Wildcats of Kansas State. This week's Phillips 66 Big 12 Player of the Week is Kansas forward Thomas Robinson. In victories over Howard and North Dakota last week, Robinson averaged 19.5 points and 14 rebounds. He shot 70% from the field on the week. He also had 6 assists, a block, and 3 steals. And his top performance, it came against North Dakota. He finished with career highs of 30 points and 21 rebounds. It's the 6th time in Big 12 history that a player has posted at least 30 points and 20 rebounds in the same game, and the first time that a Jayhawk player has done so since 1961. So Robinson with 17.7 points and 12.2 rebounds on the year. He's the only player in the Big 12 averaging a double-double. Congratulations to Thomas Robinson of KU, this week's Phillips 66 Big 12 Player of the Week. We'll be back to Allen Fieldhouse in a moment after this from your friends at Phillips 66. Pass with the Jayhawks a dominating first half. They lead 35-20 our score. Our Classroom Champ brought to you by Phillips 66. When it comes to convenience and value, it's at the top of its class. And this week's Phillips 66 Classroom Champ is Kansas State's Victor Ozole, senior marketing and finance. Ozole carrying a 3.95 GPA in finance and management, a 2-time first-team academic All Big 12. Congratulations to Victor Ozole of the Wildcats. this week's Phillips 66 Classroom Champ. With Reed Geddes, I'm Dave Armstrong. Reed, as you know, it's an ever-changing world as far as conference realignment is concerned. Leaving the Big 12 after this season will be Texas A&M and the Missouri Tigers. And joining the Big 12 after this season, TCU and hopefully West Virginia.
There's been a lot of talk about the excitement of adding the football teams, the Horned Frogs in West Virginia. How about Bob Huggins back in the Big 12? And you know, you ought to add in there, you talk about Huggins returning to the Big 12, Billy Gillespie back in the Big 12. But well, what great additions to the conference. And I'm here to tell you, the round robin format, the Big 12, the last 7 years has been one of the top 3 RPI conferences every single year. It will be number 1 and 2 every single year. I love the round robin format.
In the Big 12 this year, any surprises, anything stand out so far?
I don't think so. You know, the teams, Missouri perhaps is better than anybody anticipated.
Yes.
And last night, Frank Hayes said they played about as well as they can play. They absolutely dominated Oklahoma. Up to that point, I thought Oklahoma had been a nice surprise. Lon Kruger's team beating some people that nobody anticipated. And, you know what? It's playing out about the way I expected.
And there are 2 of the 4 remaining unbeatens in the country belong in the Big 12. You mentioned the Missouri Tigers and the Baylor Bears there as well.
You know, a lot of people saying they don't know what to expect from Baylor. We talked to Bill Self about Baylor today, and he knows what to expect. They are the longest team maybe I have ever seen. They're linked. They've got shooters now. Point guard Pierre Jackson has done a terrific job at the point. Baylor Bears are a very, very good basketball team.
Well, Thomas Robinson, a very, very good basketball player. And a dominating first half for him and for the Jayhawks, leading it by 15 at the half. Phillips 66 proud to be the presenting sponsor of Big 12 basketball. The next time you're on empty, fill up with Phillips 66 gasoline. Specially formulated to clean fuel injectors, increase performance, and above all, help maximize mileage. Phillips 66 hard-working gas. The Jayhawks shot 50% in the first half. Kansas State 28%, and therefore it's a 15-point KU lead at the half. With Reed Geddes, I'm Dave Armstrong. This one kind of came as a surprise to both of us. We figured it'd be a much closer game than this.
You know, both coaches told us they didn't hesitate. They said the key to this game is going to be rebounding. And in the first half, the Jayhawks just absolutely dominated the glass, 24-12. But for 10 turnovers by the Kansas Jayhawks, this would be a 20-25 point basketball game.
Yeah, just might. Let's check out some highlights from that first half, brought to you by Shelter Insurance.
Terrific ball movement by the Kansas Jayhawks. Everybody touching the basketball, moving side to side. Travis Relaford had a very nice first half, had 7 points. Early on, it was the Thomas Robinson show. There was nothing Kansas State could do to slow him down. 1 point away from a double-double in the first half. Finally, some life from the Wildcats. Jordan Enriquez came off the bench, had 2 nice baskets. Then the defense got going, fighting for balls, attacking, got a little bit of a momentum play, but then it all kind of fell apart at the end. Just terrible defense on the last possession by the Wildcats.
For your auto, home, and life, seek Shelter today. Well, I see what both coaches do in that locker room and the adjustments that they make. Kansas State, I'm sure, will try to do a much better job on the glass, with Kansas leading it 35-20.
Taylor out front, Elijah. Left side, Relaford, a 3. Good, he hit it. Here's Thomas, right side against Gibson. Thomas shoots over Gibson and got it. 33-20, 8 seconds. Tyshawn into the lane, drives it up and scores.
Those are the dulcet tones of that man right there in the blue sweater, Bob Davis. Of course, you recognize Chris Piper, a longtime worker on the Big 12 network, and his work in the studio and on games as well. But Bob Davis, a longtime voice of the Jayhawks and very familiar to fans throughout the Sunflower State. Let's check out our numbers from the first half, brought to you by Papa John's.
A 28% shooting on the road is not going to get it done if you're going to have a chance to win this basketball game. Getting pounded on the boards, but turning the Jayhawks over gives you a chance. Points off turnovers surprisingly in favor of the Jayhawks in spite of the differential in actual turnovers.
In a busy week for the Kansas State Wildcats radio broadcast team of Stan Weber and Wyatt Thompson. Of course, they've got the Cotton Bowl on Friday night from Jerry World down in Big D. And then Saturday, an afternoon game between the Missouri Tigers and the Wildcats. I'll be there with John Sunvolt on the Big 12 Network at Bramlage Coliseum. And Frank Martin with some final words of encouragement and instruction for his Wildcats, who just got punched in the face in that first half.
They really did. And it took them about, you even called it, it took them about 10 minutes before they recovered, kind of gained their balance, and they did it through hustle. You know, I'm a little surprised that Jordan Enriquez is not starting the second half for Kansas State. He scored every time he touched the ball down in the paint.
You know, Bill Self, he's going to be thrilled with what his team did in that first half. Defensively, they held the Wildcats to 28% shooting. They out-rebounded a very good rebounding team in Kansas State, 24-12, and on top of that, his team hit 50%. It'll be Kansas State with the ball first to start the second 20, and right away they turn it over. Ay, ay, ay.
What a horrible start coming out of the locker room. Just a lack of concentration by Will Spradling. You hold that ball, you're a point guard, you hold that ball out in front of you, somebody's going to be slapping at it.
Taylor again getting into that paint, throws up a runner, no good. Withy going for the rebound. Look at Robinson fight for it. And the tie-up will give the Jayhawks the ball again.
Well, a lot of black jerseys down there, just one white jersey, and he's on top of the basketball. Tremendous effort by Thomas Robinson.
Well, how about his improvement? And now you were calling for it, Jordan Enriquez, and now he gets quickly checked in for K-State, and Gibson will go out. Gibson, after a hot start for K-State in his freshman year, his last 5 games averaging just 5 points and 33% from the field.
Phillips 66 rookie of the week the first week of December, averaging 19 and 11 before those last 5 games.
Samuels, pretty quiet first half. And had just 1 point. But now there's Magruder. Boy, do the Wildcats need him.
Nice unselfish play by Will Spradling, passing up a jump shot for his teammate.
Taylor is bumped on the play. No basket.
Ooh. Tyshawn Taylor has gotten a piece of the paint every single time he's tried. Bill Self wanted him to be aggressive, and he has been extremely aggressive in this game.
Is it that K-State's defense isn't as good as it should be, or is Taylor just that good at penetration?
Yes. I mean, Tyshawn's been great, but you got to rotate over. Someone's got to keep him out of the paint, because bad things happen to you when a point guard dribble penetrates to the paint.
Backdoor Relaford.
Oh, that was easy.
And the crowd comes to life again. That'll be a foul, count the basket. Little slow reaction on the first attempt by Enriquez, and then Samuels was there to pick up the loose change.
And slow reaction down on the other end on the close back. Kansas State out there denying the wing pass. Look to the right of your screen, out there playing the passing lane, but then did not close back. Beautiful execution by Travis Relaford.
And Jamar Samuels completes the old-fashioned three-point play. Kansas State inches a little bit closer. They're within 11 now.
Which is almost unimaginable, shooting under 30% in this building.
Another backdoor play, but this one doesn't get through. Spradling. Withy's all by his lonesome.
Good closeout by Will Spradling.
Robinson calling for that ball. It's blocked out of bounds by Enriquez. It'll stay with KU.
Dave, we talked about a bad job of closing back for Frank Martin's team. Now a good job. Watch up at the top of your screen. Will Spradling knew that that was going to be a bounce pass, turned his head, snapped it, and was looking for the ball coming up off the floor.
Earlier today, Bill Self was talking about his team with those bounce passes. Was that a good decision to bounce pass, or should have thrown it in with more force?
Bill Self will tell you it's a bad decision. It's the slowest pass in basketball. However, on a backdoor cut, I think you've got to throw a bounce pass.
That basket by Robinson gives him another double-double, his 10th of the year. He's got 11 points, 11 rebounds. And it looks like Kansas State's starting to heat up just a little bit.
They'll get another bounce in their step if they can get this 11-point lead down under 10.
Remember, they trailed by 18 once upon a time. Taylor. An air ball from the corner. He is a 51% three-point shooter.
Historically has been a weakness of Tyshawn Taylor. Not so this year.
Withey's got the block on Enriquez. That'll be a foul on Spradling with his head. And that's the second team foul on K-State this half.
Spradling saying, wait a second, I can't foul him with my face. Ooh, I tell you what, that's a clear out, and that's a point of emphasis. They can go over to the monitor and look at this. Now, that's exactly what they're going to do. That is a basketball play. That's going to be a flagrant 1 flat foul. It was not overly aggressive. It should not be a flagrant 2 warranting an ejection, but that is going to be a flagrant 1 foul. Good piece of officiating right here. You cannot clear out. There is no amount of space. A lot of people think that when you're closed out on somebody, you have to give them a certain distance. You don't have to give them 1 inch. When you clear out, you've got to do it with your elbows against your body and down below your waist, not up over the top. You know what? I'm not sure that call would have been made if Will Spradling hadn't been holding his head.
Looks like they're not going to call that a flagrant 1 foul.
Well, that is a basketball play. It's a contact above the shoulders, and it's an elbow to the head. I don't know how that's not a flagrant 1.
Instead, the foul just on Spradling. Johnson goes in. Relaford lucky to get it back. Back to Johnson. And the three-pointer no good. Magruder's got it. Here comes Rodriguez.
I'm anxious for a dead ball. We have 3 of the best officials in the business. I'm anxious to find out what the explanation was for that non-call.
Little give and go. Samuels fighting hard. It goes out of bounds. It'll stay with K-State.
K-State executing better.
Yes.
They're getting better shots. They're being aggressive. They're attacking. And I'm telling you, Dave, Jordan Enriquez has made the difference. He got 1 block by Withey, but he's attacking. He's being aggressive. He has brought energy off of the bench.
Much like he did against Alabama when he scored a career-high 17. Robinson steps in to pick it off. But a good move by Magruder to take it away from Robinson.
Will Spradling says, thanks, partner.
Samuels for 3, no. Robinson with another rebound, but another turnover. That's 13 for KU. Withey with another block. A missed jam. Wow.
A lot of activity for nothing of substance to have happened. Good defense.
And another turnover. Bill Self's team starting this half 2 for 8. And we're back after this from your friends at Phillips 66. Frank Martin's team off to an 8-4 start to begin the half. Much needed 8-4 start for the Wildcats. Kansas trying to remain #1 in the Big 12. Tom O'Neill, who made a call against Will Spradling on a clear out by Tyshawn Taylor, came over and explained to us that it was a basketball move by Taylor, and that's why they did not assess him a flagrant 2 foul.
Well, we'll take a look at it again. The flow chart is, you say, was there contact? If yes, then was it above the shoulders or below? This was above the shoulders. Basketball play is a flagrant 1. An excessive is flagrant 2 and an ejection. We take a look at it. Clearly there's contact, and clearly it's above the shoulders. Even if it's a graze, you're not making a judgment call on the severity of the contact. It's contact, it's a clear out, it hit him in the head, and well, I tell you what, it's a tough call. It's a tough rule to enforce. Clearly Will Spradling was up there forcing the action. The call was basketball play, no flagrant foul.
Relaford fighting for control of the ball. They rule it a tie-up, and the arrow gives it to Kansas State.
Jump ball, alternate possession stays with Kansas State. Second game of the Wildcat lineup is Will Spradling.
This is the 273rd meeting between these two teams. Would you be surprised if I told you out of all those meetings, this is only the 15th time when both teams are ranked? Wow. And 5 of those, Reed, have come in the last 10 games.
Well, what a credit to Frank Martin and what he has done to restore the glory to this Wildcat program.
Samuels hits a big 3 with 2 on the shot clock.
This lead is now just 8 points.
It was 18 once upon a time.
If you think Frank Martin's coach basketball team is going to curl up and go away, you have not been paying attention.
Robinson. Good defense by Enriquez, but another rebound for KU. And Relaford calls timeout. The Jayhawks continue to out-rebound the Wildcats. 32-19 the advantage for KU. And we'll take a timeout with 14:06 remaining. Frank Martin's Wildcats have inched within 8. Phillips 66 is proud to be the presenting sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Next time you're on empty, fill up with Phillips 66 gasoline. Specially formulated to clean fuel injectors, increase performance, and above all, help maximize mileage. Phillips 66, it's hard-working gas. And the Wildcats are working hard to try to get back in this game after trailing by 18. They've cut that lead to 8 with 14:06 remaining. And how about the Duke Blue Devils as they take on the Temple Owls tonight? And how about that? Temple upsetting Duke, 78-73.
Well, for the conference sake, that makes Texas's win over Temple look better. Good defense.
And that one, again, you're talking about Enriquez. That one goes off young, and it'll belong to K-State.
Just the length of Jordan Enriquez. He is so difficult to shoot over. I wouldn't be surprised this next possession if Kansas doesn't pop Thomas Robinson up to the top of the key. But right now, the Jayhawks having a hard time dealing with Jordan Enriquez.
And a guy that has just 4 points and 2 rebounds, but the numbers don't tell you his effect on the game. There's Samuels again. He's got 9 points in the game.
And now suddenly Kansas needs a good possession. Robinson inside just going block to block with the 7-footer on him. I'd pop him outside and let him face. Like that.
And then a quick move, but some help defensively.
Good call. That's out of control. Not going to drive and get all the way to the basket, usually against a Frank Martin team. And nice job stepping in there and drawing the charge by Martavius Irving.
That's the 3rd foul on Robinson, so he has to go over to the bench.
Well, that's a pivotal moment in this game.
And a reaching foul on Young.
Just no reason for that. You're in good position. You've got the ball 35 feet from the basket. You're locked up on him. Don't reach in and foul. Be smart.
Three-pointer off, no good. There's Enriquez again fighting for that rebound. Withy was out of bounds when he was touching the ball, so it'll go to K-State.
Today we talked about Young, a light going off. Right now for Frank Martin, they were telling us Jordan Enriquez, something happened when they were in Hawaii about 3 games ago in that Diamond Head Classic. He just came to life. He's being aggressive, assertive. It is unbelievable how good he is playing here in the second half.
Kansas State being the aggressor here in the second half. And Young with another foul. That's the 4th team foul on KU. That'll be the 3rd on Young.
Play defense with your feet. Your feet put you in possession to use your hands and deflect passes. Right now, Young is playing defense with his arms and his hands.
That brings Wesley off the bench. Samuels thought about that 3. Irving with a spin move in the paint. And a whistle and a foul.
Boy, you want to talk about quick. Martavius Irving got to the paint and spun in the blink of an eye.
On this possession alone, 3 fouls on KU. And now 5 in the half. That one called on Wesley. That's his 2nd. Samuels will take the 3. Oh, a heat check now for Jamar Samuels. And it's a 3-point game. 10 straight points by the Wildcats. And the Jayhawks take a timeout. 12:20 remaining here in the half, and the Jayhawks, who had 35 points at halftime, have just 4 points in the second half. It has been mostly K-State. Turnovers by KU, and the Wildcats are making them pay.
Defensive intensity for Kansas State has picked up. Suddenly they are attacking the basket more aggressively, and it's amazing how often when you attack the basket and get in a rhythm, suddenly those outside jump shots that you could not buy in the first half suddenly start falling. And look at the momentum over there in that huddle.
What a momentum swing here in this contest. Frank Martin, he was beside himself early in this game. Early on, he just was shaking his head. His body language all like, oh my goodness, we're just getting our butts beat here in Allen Fieldhouse. And now all of a sudden a big turnaround.
It was a knockout punch.
Yeah.
I mean, they were knocked out. Frank Martin had his face in his hands, had no idea what to do. And boy, have they sprung to life. Now a 1-2-2 zone defense. Changing defense is coming out of timeouts.
Now how long can you leave Thomas Robinson on that bench with 3 fouls, 12 minutes remaining? Tien, huge 3 for the Jayhawks. And a whistle and a foul, the 6th-team foul on KU, that one on Tien. But what a big 3 he just made to stem the tide. It's Kansas State, though, on a roll. A 10-3 run for the Wildcats. And we're back after this from your friends at Phillips 66. (42-36), the Jayhawks continue to hold Kansas State at arm's length, but the Wildcats on a mad dash here in the second half to erase a 15-point halftime deficit, and that lead for KU down to 6. Hey, attention golfers and club pros, online registration now open for the 2012 ESPN National Golf Challenge. Log on to ESPNGolf.com to sign up and find a participating course near you. Turnabout here. The Wildcats, they hit just 28% in the first half. The Jayhawks are hitting 27% in the second half.
Suddenly looks at the basket that the Wildcats could not get in the first half. They're getting great looks almost every trip down the floor. This zone defense has been effective for Kansas State. Nobody at the elbow.
And another turnover for Tyshawn Taylor. That is 16 turnovers for KU. Three-pointer? No. Long rebound to Johnson. 7 of those 15 turnovers belong to Tyshawn Taylor, and he has been doing such a better job in the last 3 games with 19 assists, 6 turnovers, but now a seat over on the bench, and I'm sure he's hurting a little bit. That last one, he kind of cramped a little bit as he went down to the court, but still 7 turnovers too many for your senior guard.
Well, and for the season, he's 68 assists on 50 turnovers, almost 1-to-1. That's not very good, but like you said, the last 2 games, he's been at 3.2 to 1 on assist to turnover. That's outstanding.
Robinson is back in, Reed. Tian, another huge 3. Timeout, K-State. Connor Tian with Kansas staggering a bit, getting punched by the Wildcats. Tian comes out and buries a couple of big 3s.
Well, that's a slow closeout that time by Shane Southwell. And the scouting report on Connor Tian is you've got to drive him. You cannot let him stand out there and shoot, or the fans will love him all night.
Connor Tian with those 2 threes. He is the only Jayhawk to score in the last 7 minutes of this game.
He's been good shooting that basketball. A senior put on scholarship this year. First 4 years in Lawrence, was a walk-on 2 times this year. He has hit 4 3-point field goals against Long Beach State and against USC. And well, I tell you what, in that Long Beach State game, but for his outside shooting, that might have been a whole different outcome.
It ended up being an 8-point win for KU in that game, and he scored a career-high 14. Well, those 2 big 3s here to kind of put the Wildcats back on their heels a little bit. That pinch post offense for Kansas State. Spradling trying to get free. A little floater up over Withy. Relaford's got the rebound.
Well, you've got to put that ball in Thomas Robinson's hands. Enrique's doing a great job inside defensively.
Johnson, no, and there's Enriquez again with another rebound. Would have counted had it gone. Irving will go to the line.
Back over 15.
Tell you what, Jordan Enriquez has taken Thomas Robinson almost out of this game. I know he's been in foul trouble, but when the big fella has been on him, Thomas Robinson has struggled.
At the line, Martavius Irving, shooting 2.
Robinson does have a double-double, but most of that work came in the first half.
He had 9 points and 10 rebounds at halftime and has been very ineffective since Jordan has been guarding him. Little surprised that Kansas is not popping him out on the floor. We saw him pop up to the top of the key once, step him out there about 15, 17 feet, reverse pivot and face Enriquez. Make him move his feet side to side.
Well, now they brought Withy in, and maybe that'll be the matchup, and that's the adjustment that Coach Self has made to bring Withy in. We'll see, and now we'll see if they make the adjustment.
Good closeout by Irving.
They haven't made the adjustment. They have Enriquez still on Robinson. Whistle and a foul. This one on Martavius Irving. That'll only be the 3rd team foul, though, on the Wildcats this half.
We saw a bad closeout on Connor Tian by Southwell. That time, Martavius Irving with an outstanding closeout on the shooter.
I was about to say the Wildcats doing a much better job this half, Reed, and not allowing KU to get into the paint, but last couple of times that hasn't been the case. KU lucky not to turn it over again. Relaford with a spin move and then missed the layup, but got his own rebound. Johnson again, Withy. Wow! Spradling with a big 3.
Great hustle that time by Rodney Magruder to keep that ball alive.
Relaford, that's the answer.
That's Travis Relaford's 9th three-point field goal of the season.
He's got a dozen.
Good call.
That's an offensive foul on Jordan Enriquez.
We saw Enriquez get away with that hook move in the first half. This time, John Higgins catches him. Had a good angle on the post move. That's a good call.
That's the 3rd foul on Enriquez. So he's got to come over to the bench, and that's a big loss for Kansas State.
If there's an MVP so far in this basketball game, regardless of the outcome, it's Jordan Enriquez. Good screen.
Timeout.
A great back screen by Travis Relaford. Enriquez goes to the bench, and immediately the Jayhawks go inside. Watch this back screen. Just a bone-crushing screen. Great job, easy basket, or good execution by the Jayhawks.
So just when it looked like Kansas was reeling, the Jayhawks have run off 10 out of the last 13 points. And look at the energy in the huddle. Kansas State, meanwhile, they were climbing that mountain once again. They've been through this scene before. Struggle early, make a furious comeback, only to watch KU pull away at the end.
It takes so much energy to fight back from a deep hole. You wonder if they have how much they have left in the tank.
Yeah, Kansas State, what a tough trio of games for them to start the Big 12. At Kansas and then Missouri. Unbeaten Tigers, 12:30 Central. I'll be on the call with John Sungold for that game, so check your local listings. It all begins with Studio 66 at 12:30 Central. Thomas Robinson, a double-double, 13 points, 12 rebounds. And a thunder jam to get the crowd roaring again.
A little surprised that during that timeout, Frank Martin didn't get Enriquez back in this game.
An air ball of a 3, but it was last touched by Relaford. So with Jordan Enriquez wiping the sweat on the bench, it's Thomas Robinson who goes back to work for the Jayhawks, who once again are up by 11. Well, Kansas watched Kansas State pull to within 3. And all of a sudden, the Jayhawks finding some distance again, leading by 11. Interesting move, Bill Self, after a turnover / semi-injury to Tyshawn Taylor, took him out of the game. And I don't know if it's coincidence or not, but Kansas went on a little bit of a run. Now Taylor back in there again. The Jayhawks with 5 turnovers in the first 6 minutes of the half, as Samuels tries a long 3. But only 1 turnover in the last 6 minutes.
And Tyshawn Taylor was on the bench. He has 3 assists and 7 turnovers in this game.
Then he drives in. I don't know if that was a pass, but it worked like one. Wow. Blocked by Withy. Taylor. A 14-3 run by the Jayhawks.
Jeff Withy with terrific defense. First of all, Tyshawn Taylor gets to the paint. Look at nobody putting a body on Thomas Robinson. Free all the way from the three-point line to the basket. And Jeff Withey not only with an outstanding block, but a great outlet pass to Tyshawn Taylor.
Do you think that play from Taylor to Robinson was a pass? It couldn't have been,
No,
right?
no, there's no way. But, you know, who cares? You know, I mean,
Yeah,
Tyshawn
right.
Taylor's being aggressive, and the bottom line is that's what we talked about Kansas needed to do with Thomas Robinson. Get him off the post, away from Enriquez, get him out on the floor, and get him moving.
Have they taken the heart of the Wildcats, who got within 3, and now all of a sudden it's 15 again?
They have taken another punch. We'll see what they have coming back. That's a good response from Kansas State coming out of that timeout. Rodney Magruder just lowering his shoulder, attacking the basket for Frank Martin.
The Magruder will go to the line. By the way, 18 fouls now on the Jayhawks. Magruder with 11 points in this game.
Came into this game the last 2, averaging 21 points per game, shooting an amazing 83% from the floor.
He's 4 of 4 from the line and 13 points for Rodney Magruder. No pressure now by the Wildcats, almost worked.
Ooh, that's a charge. That's a good call.
Spradling, who has taken 18 charges this year, got in underneath Relaford. And that'll be turnover number 17 for KU.
Cannot pass that ball and float. You jump straight up, straight down. That's a good call. Spradling was there. Relaford was out of control, floated after the pass. Good job by Will Spradling. That's a steal, and it doesn't get credited as a steal in the statistics.
Should it?
Absolutely it should. The other team has the ball because of your defensive play. Your team gets the ball.
That'll be a foul on Robinson. Now he's picked up number 4.
We wondered if the Wildcats had some fight to come back after the next haymaker that the Kansas Jayhawks have delivered, and it 2 times in a row, Kansas State has gotten to that free throw line because of their aggressive play down on the offensive end.
Enriquez, an adventure at the line, 52% on the year. His first trip here tonight.
You are not going to make free throws with your heels stuck to the ground. There is nowhere on the basketball court do you shoot with your heels stuck on the ground. I'm somebody over there in a suit. I'm telling him come up on his toes.
Missed them both. Withey's got the rebound. That's 7 rebounds for Jeff Withey. What a move by Relaford. Doesn't get it to go. Saves it to Withey. With Robinson, a cheerleader from the bench, the Jayhawks lead by 15 again. Samuels, good feed. Withey with a foul.
Jeff Withey suddenly has become very active on both ends of the floor. That's now 3 fouls on Jeff.
Enriquez needs to make him pay, though, for the foul. And he's missed all 3 of his free throw attempts.
Not even close. You know, Kansas doesn't have the depth to go to a hack a Jordan strategy, but boy, I sure wouldn't give him any easy baskets.
Four free throws, and really none of them had a chance. You start using clock a little bit if you're KU.
Absolutely. Run your offense, you get a layup, take it. If not, do not shoot till that clock's down under 10. Nice possession right now by Kansas.
Trying to limit the number of possessions. Johnson a three-pointer, no. Magruder's got the rebound. It was tipped. It was tipped by Johnson. It'll stay with K-State.
Good time for Rodney Magruder to get a good look at the basket.
for Samuels.
Good defense.
Tipped away. Tien's got it. Looking for open space. That was a good decision by Taylor.
Excellent decision.
And he'll go to the line.
That was outstanding play by Tyshawn Taylor. We talked about he's had a lot of turnovers in this game, more than certainly Bill Self would be happy with, but that time he turned down a shot, kicked the ball out, set it up, but you still attack the basket. If you're Bill Self right now, you attack the basket. If you can draw a foul, draw it.
Now, Bill Self made a great point earlier in the year when the fans were starting to get on Tyshawn Taylor a little bit because of some of his early season turnovers. And then the revelation came that he had played a couple of games with a pretty serious knee injury that ultimately required an operation. An operation on the 11th of December. He never even missed a game.
Unbelievable. Played on December 19th and played very well. Had 15 points and 7 assists in that first game back.
What he basically told the Kansas crowd was, look, you can question some of the decisions he makes, but don't ever question his toughness.
Listen, you play point guard at Kansas, you get a lot of scrutiny, kind of like playing quarterback in the NFL.
Sure.
But he's brought a lot of scrutiny on himself.
Magruder takes it into the land of the Giants.
Beautiful left hand, put his right forearm up in the chest of Jeff Withey, held him off, and that release point was so far out away from his body. Beautiful.
Look at that move by Taylor. And a blocking foul inside. That's a foul on Southwell. That's his first.
Rodney Magruder protect that basketball as he goes to the basket. Watch that right forearm. He puts it up right into the chest. Right there, puts that arm down, puts it right into the chest of Jeff Withey. Puts that ball up high off the glass. Nice finish.
The official said the foul was on number 1, but it's not on Southwell. Instead, it's on number 11, Nino Williams, number 11. And that was the 6th team foul on Kansas State this half. So Kansas will be in the bonus with the next foul by the Wildcats, and already the Wildcats are in the double bonus.
Nice job of Kansas. They gave up a big lead. They could have gotten rattled, lost their poise, and they have just extended this thing back out.
Spradling with a nice tip to himself. Then he walked, right? Yep.
A little bit out of control.
But when the lead got down to 3, and you wondered what was going to happen with Robinson on the bench with 3 fouls, and then all of a sudden Connor Tien hit those 2 big threes from opposite corners, and that really helped KU catch their breath and get back in control of the game. And there's a whistle and contact inside, so we've got a timeout with the Jayhawks now leading at 61-45, 3:48 remaining from Allen Fieldhouse. Tonight's Big 12 Network game brought to you by Phillips 66, hard-working gas. By Whataburger, proud to serve it hot and fresh, 24 hours a day. And by Shelter Insurance. We're your shield, we're your shelter. With Reed Geddes, I'm Dave Armstrong. You're looking inside the Hall of Fame here. The University of Kansas and Allen Fieldhouse, that Booth Family Hall of Athletics. And now Travis Relaford at the line. We told you from the very outset that this game very well may be decided on the glass. 2 good rebounding teams. Well, Kansas has out-rebounded Kansas State 43-25.
Just dominated the glass. Kansas has out-rebounded every opponent this year but one. But coming into this game, the first thing Bill Self said was, not sure we'll play a better rebounding team than the Wildcats. And boy, they have just pounded them on the glass.
Well, you look at those rebounds, and again, Kansas leading by 18, matching their biggest lead of the game. Magruder's been the only Wildcat to score in 5 minutes plus. So Kansas State becoming one-dimensional here in crunch time. And another turnover.
Don't need that shot. You know, you take a layup, but you got to be under control. And Bill Self's clapping his hands. And again, it's a hustling mistake. It's an aggressive mistake. But still, you learn to close out games by executing the last 3 minutes.
Robinson checks back in. Whiffy will take a seat. And well, he did pretty good work, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Jeff Whiffy with 6 block shots, almost a triple-double at 8 points, 9 rebounds to go along with those 6 blocks. He had an outstanding game.
Jeremy Jones has checked in for the first time for K-State. And the Jayhawks are in no hurry here with a huge lead and under 3 minutes to go. Taylor. And a rebound by Samuels on an air ball. Count the basket. Nino Williams will go to the line after being fouled by Tien.
Nino Williams has had a good basketball game. Not great. If he hadn't thrown up a couple of wild three-pointer air balls, I'd say he's had a very solid game. He's tough inside. I mean, he's small, but he is strong. You look at those big old shoulders. He's done a nice job in the paint. 6'5" freshman.
6'5", 225. They've got some thick freshmen.
Yeah, they
Williams
do.
at 220 and Gibson at 275.
Gibson has continued with his struggles.
Yeah. The alley-oop. Too much alley.
A spectacular turnover.
Again, not necessary. Spradling can't make him pay at the other end.
Bill's over there just gritting his teeth, and he put his palms down and said, "Ugh, under control."
Again, the Jayhawks coming in on the heels of 7 straight Big 12 titles. A lot of people thinking the Jayhawks were showing their Achilles heel this year, and on a night when they have 19 turnovers, they're still dominating Kansas State.
People can say whatever they want. When you have won 7 consecutive conference championships, when you have won 11 of the 15, you are the prohibitive favorite until somebody knocks you off.
Jones with it. He works into the paint and is fouled on the play. Will go to the line. So Frank Martin, who got his team back into this contest after trailing by 18. They got within 3, and then the 2 three-pointers by Tien. And then the rest of the Jayhawks took control again, and he leaves Lawrence once again shaking his head.
The last 5 games here have not been particularly close. Even though the games have been competitive in Manhattan, the last 5 have been decided by a margin of 18 points in favor of the Jayhawks.
This will be the 43rd win of the last 46 in this series.
Difficult building to dig a deep hole and then get out of it and still have enough gas in the tank to finish the game.
In the last 18 years, just 1 win for the Wildcats here at Allen Fieldhouse. The exclamation point by Taylor. Under a minute to go. Travis Relaford, by the way, a new career high for Relaford with 16 points in this game and another rebound. That gives him 11, and that's also a career high. The Wildcats start with quite a trifecta in Big 12 play. At Kansas, home against unbeaten Missouri, and then home against unbeaten Baylor.
Well, 3 consecutive ranked opponents to start the Big 12 action.
But you know what? Frank Martin not complaining about it. He realizes you got to play everybody. And the Wildcats before have played possum in this league, where they've started off slowly and then made a run late.
Good balanced basketball game by the Jayhawks.
Robinson gives it up. Relaford. And the rebound to Johnson. They can just dribble it out now.
Final score, Kansas 67, Kansas State 49.
So much for the Achilles heel.
They may be vulnerable, but they were not tonight. Bill Self's team played an excellent basketball game here at home.
So once again, our final score, the Jayhawks win it 67-49. For Reed Geddes and our entire Big 12 crew, I'm Dave Armstrong. Tune in Saturday at 11:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Central for Studio 66 with Doug Bell and Brendan Manzer. For more information on the Big 12 Network, log on to ESPN.com. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN Regional Television, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports. Good night from Lawrence, Kansas.